guys, it's Peter, and welcome back. I'm back, and welcome back. Where did I go? I went nowhere. Oh my God, I'm literally sitting in the same chair, shirt change. Do you guys what's so funny is I just have to tell you this real quick, is that as irrelevant as all these people want to act like I am, it is so obvious to me that I'm really on a lot of people's radars. That's all I'm gonna say. You just watch their videos, watch the people that I talk about, and you will totally know what I'm saying, okay? And I don't think that Amber Lynn Reid is one of those people, but I will say this about Amber Lynn Reid. I just watched her newest video when she talked about going to the emergency room. I wish you the best, Amber Lynn. I do hope you're feeling better. And thank you for this very nice video. But if you look in the background, like, they moved into this apartment and it looks much better. Very, very nice. And I'm somebody to give props. So, hey, listen. You even have the little place settings on the table. I think that's very nice. So, anyway, I'm glad that things are going better for her and Destiny. But I will say this. It's interesting to me when I watch videos and I'm like, are they listening to me? Like, because now they're not doing these things I'm talking about or whatever. So, or they reference this and I talk specifically about that in the video. Because you know I think the world rotates like this, right? But anyway, I had this really cute idea for a video. At least I thought it was cute. So I texted Charles, my good friend, Charles, gross. No, he is becoming a good friend of mine. I love him so much. But anyway, and I said, hey, what do you think about this idea? He was like, he's so funny. I mean, he's so honest, you guys. That's how I knew all that shit was just such a joke about Anyway, and he was like, well, I don't know that I think it's a sellable idea because blah, 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 whatever. He's like, I think this. And so basically what he said is, tell who you are. Like, just get on there and talk about yourself because I think that's what people want to see. And, you know, that's what's funny and relatable and all that kind of stuff. So I thought, okay, well, what story do I tell? Because it's so funny because, like, if you're... Okay, listen. My good girlfriend, Tanya and I... My best friend, Tanya and I literally, when our husbands go to bed at night, I go pick her up, we go get a fountain Coke, and we drive around for an hour and just talk and talk and talk about all these kinds of people and just tell stories and whatever. Put me in front of this camera. I can't think of a story time to sell my life. In fact, I swear to God, I was like at the gas station last night. Not with Tanya. I was by myself. I was on my way to the casino. It's becoming a problem. I can't stop. But anyway, if you checked my Snapchat, I should totally show you. I put up receipts last night on my Snapchat. People don't believe me. They're like, about when I talk about the casino, but I'm going to show you this to come on Snapchat. But anyway, don't you hate when you want to pull something up and you can't? That means, like, you need to be ready. Oh, I put fountain pop and casino weirdo receipts. Do you see him? Weirdo. Long hair. Long hair and a beard and a shirt open down to about here. It was not cute, baby. Not cute at all. And I'm, like, sitting there by myself. And then somebody, oh my God, somebody Snapchatted me and they were like, are you at Live? Because there's like Anderson, Hoosier Park, and then there's Indiana Live, and I was not at Indiana Live, I was at Hoosier Park. But I was like, oh my God, how does this person... You guys, I'm a casino junkie. It's so embarrassing. But anyway, and that's kind of my story I'm going to tell about in a second. But, because so many people want to know about the life of Peter Munn. So let me tell you, okay? I'm an only child. I grew up in Indiana. I was born in Chicago. My dad is a surgeon. And my dad did his medical residency at Northwestern in Chicago. So we lived in Evanston, and we moved to Indianapolis when I was 4. My dad is from Fort Wayne, Indiana. He was the youngest of 5 kids, very, very poor growing up. My mom had one other sister, and she grew up in Indianapolis, and very, very poor growing up. And then they had me, and their life became rich and wonderful. No, not really. But, I mean, really. And then my parents were like the first people that I ever knew ever to get divorced. And it was this very kind of tragic divorce, and my parents didn't get along ever their entire lives. And so I went back and forth, but both my parents were very, very involved in my life, and I just had like amazing times, and I just loved it so much. I just had such great times growing up. It's so funny because my mother was somebody that would like stay up till like 2 o'clock in the morning and watch movies and stuff. And if you don't know about this about me, I'm sober. I got sober when I was 22. My mom actually got sober 6 months after I did. So the last 13 years of her life, we lived sober together, and it was a really cool thing. This is not going to be like a real depressing video. I swear there will be some funniness in it. But it was so funny because, like, I was thinking about growing up. So my dad, like, when my parents got divorced, like, my mom would say, your dad's, like, in a midlife crisis. I don't believe in midlife crises. I think that's called, like, a midlife awareness, like, when you figure out who you really want to be. And it's so funny because people are like, oh, my God. Like, my aunt, my mom's sister, when she sees me today, she's like, you look exactly like your dad did at his age, okay? At my age, at your age? Okay, when my dad was my age, he looked just like me. Like, he had a beard, but it was like salt and pepper, and he wore trucker hats. He was a lot thinner than me and in shape because he ran every day. But anyway, my husband to this day sees my dad, and he's like, your dad is sexy. Like, he is so sexy. And my dad is 76. So I guess I have good genes. I don't know. Somebody called me a redneck daddy. Call me redneck daddy, be like homophobe. That's gonna be my first hit on my new album called Dad, available on iTunes. But anyway, so I was thinking about that today. I was like missing my mom a little bit. Like, if you've had a parent die, you know, you like have those days where you just like miss your mom. Well, here's what's so funny, okay? So Camden Kilby, who is this kid that I've talked about on here that I watch all of his videos, he put in one of his videos the Simon and Garfunkel song, Hello Darkness, My Old Friend. I think it was his video. Yeah, it was his video that I was watching. And so I was like, the other night I was watching that, I was thinking my mom was like such a huge intellectual. Here, I'm gonna show you a picture of my mom. This is my mom before she passed away. Hi, Mom. So cute. 64, she passed away of this weirdo disease. But anyway, so somebody's texting me. Oh, Charles Gross. You seriously should, Charles. But anyway, I love him so much. But anyway, my good Judy. All right, so anyway, when I was growing up in high school, I grew up in this very like artsy, bohemian kind of house. It was very cool that my parents built, and then when my parents got divorced, my dad built another house and moved across town. And so, like, my mom would stay up late at night, but my dad would call me every morning. I mean, literally, first grade through senior year, every morning at like 6:30 and say, hey, I just wanted to call you. He calls me Pete. He'd be like, hey, Pete, just wanted to call you, let you know I love you. Hope you have a good day for school, and I want to make sure you are up. Let's talk about some deadbeat dads for a second, okay? And what my dad did for me. That's not about money. That's not about buying things. It's about, I mean, that is so sweet, don't you think? My dad is so awesome. But anyway, every year on my sobriety day, I call my dad and I thank him for my life, my education, and I thank him for paying for my last treatment, of which there were many. Okay, so anyway, what else did I want to say about that? Probably nothing. Oh, I know. So anyway, I had this really cool house, but like my mom never came home late until like when I was in high school. She was always like gone late with her friends, like drinking Bloody Marys or something like that. I don't know. She drank Bloody Marys late in the day. I think that's so strange looking back on that. But my good friend Margaret and I, we would come over to my mom's house, and my mom had this amazing like record player and stereo system, and we would sit in the library and we would play what do you call it? Simon and Garfunkel and Judy Collins and Joan Baez and Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks and who else? Joni Mitchell. Joni Mitchell, man. Motherfucking Joni Mitchell. Have you guys ever seen that movie Foxes? Oh, I love that movie so much. Anyway. And we thought we were so intellectual. Come on, darkness, my old friend. And we would sit there and we would talk about intellectual things. And we would talk about crushes that we had on boys in school. Of course, I didn't say that because I still acted like I was straight. As if. But anyway, we listened to all kinds of music, and we thought we were real deep and intellectual and artsy and all that. Who even really cares about that, right? So I was thinking about this the other night because I was driving around and like that. Okay, so anyway, I was going to look for that song. I was like, I don't really want to listen to that song. That song kind of depresses me. I remember talking to my mom, and I was like, she was listening to Janet Jackson. My mom got really into like Garbage, Shirley Manson, Janet Jackson, reggae music. She loved all that. So I said, you don't ever listen to like Judy Collins and Bob Dylan anymore? She goes, baby, that shit depresses me. She got it figured out real quick, okay? But anyway, I was thinking about this last night because I was like thinking about how I wanted to like drive around and listen to this music, and I was like, and then I put on, I listen to Sirius Radio all day long, and I listen to 51 and 52. They're the EDM channels, electronic dance music. Somebody just commented on one of my videos, and they said, this is a queen trying to be a queen. What? Like, that don't even make any sense. Irrelevant. So anyway, I was driving around, I was listening to music. I was like, you know what? This is not who I am anymore, okay? I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Bob Dylan, and I love Judy Collins, and I love Joni Mitchell so much all day long. But, like, that's not who I am today. I mean, I really am not. Like, I am totally this person that just likes to be happy, listen to happy music, wear fun clothes, be with my husband, talk about fun shows. Did y'all catch that episode of RuPaul's Drag Race last night? I mean, maybe the best episode in the history of the world of RuPaul's Drag Race. But anyway, oh, I'm such a huge Alyssa Edwards fan. But anyway, and I was like, I don't want to be depressed anymore. And to be intellectual and to read books like The Stranger by Albert Camus and Tender as the Night by Scott Fitzgerald and listen to Simon. I mean, it's so depressing. Like, who wants to be all, that's bougie. Who wants to be like that? listen, I wish I could go back to high school and have fun and not think that I needed to be all pretentious and all that kind of stuff. Because it's such just a crock of shit, right? I wish I was like in high school. My God, if YouTube existed when I was in high school, can you even imagine? It would be me and my friend Margaret sitting around drinking gin and tonics after school, listening to "Come On, Darkness, My Old Friend." Those aren't even the words. I don't even know. "Hello, Darkness, My Old Friend." Who cares? But anyway, you know, we're drinking coffee. We also went to Wendy's and got double cheese plain, large fries, and Frosties. Do you guys live where there are Wendy's? If you don't, I feel real bad for you. But anyway, so I was thinking about that, and then I was thinking about my mom. My mom was so funny. Like, she loathed the casino. She thought it was like white trash, right? But she was real nice about it. And like, as she got older, like, I'd take her there on a weekend and whatever with my ex. And so my mother in the car, okay, here she is. So I'm driving, my ex is in the passenger seat, and my mother is in between us, right? And she's like, I mean, if you think I talk a lot, imagine my mom on speed, okay? And tapping my shoulder constantly. And I'm like, mother, 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 mother. I'm like, it's driving me nuts, right? I'm like, mother, if you tap me, mother, 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 right? I tell people this all the time. I'm like, listen, if my mother came back on this earth for one day, we would be hugs and kisses for that first hour, and then after that, it would be like, mother, 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 mother. I mean, it was such an only child mother-son relationship, totally, okay? But I loved her. She was the coolest woman in the whole world. As she got older in life, she kind of like figured out who she was. I mean, she was always very stylish and cool, but my mother was very cool, okay? Big, huge black sunglasses, platinum blonde hair, very like, what's that one Spice Girl that got some style? I can't think of her name. David Beckham's wife. Why can't I think of her name? That's how my mom's hair was cut, tucked behind her ears. You know, V-neck black t-shirt showing lots of cleavage even at 60, baby. My mother was cute. So anyway, sit somewhere up in the middle of the daylight, baby. Big sunglasses, didn't care. Anyway, I miss my mom so much. She gave the best hugs. But anyway, I was thinking about this because she would sit behind us and she'd be like, tap, 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 tap. I'll never forget this one time we were driving, I can't remember where we were going, Gatlinburg, Tennessee or something like that for Christmas, because I was obsessed with Dolly Parton's Smoky Mountain Christmas. So I decided that every Christmas we were going to start renting a cabin in Gatlinburg and we were going to be like Smoky Mountain Christmas. I'm dreaming of a Smoky Mountain Christmas. And we did. And my mother loved it. Although the first year she was a little afraid to go up the mountain, which you don't even really go up the mountain. You go up like a street. And she's like, oh, I don't know, Peter, I don't know. My mother was the scariest person in the whole world. I love that word, scariest. But anyway, she was though. And I remember when we were pulling in and like everybody that was with us, we had like 2 other people with us. They were like past my ex and this woman, and they were like asleep in the car, right? And we're listening to Rod Stewart, "Do You Think I'm Sexy?" And my mama goes like, she's like, "Do you think I'm sexy?" And then like she just stopped all of a sudden. She goes, "But do you really like think I'm sexy?" Oh my God, we were so much alike. I miss her so much. My stepmother is total Vegas. My mother was total hilarious intellectual. I got the best of both worlds, okay? I mean, listen, I could go and do like 15 tapes just about my stepmother. She's so incredible. I love her so much. She is so funny. I'll never forget sitting St. Martin Airport, dead of night. We had been waiting for 8 hours sitting on the cement floors, and she's sitting there with these headphones on, drunk as a skunk. Holiday! She did not care that everybody knew that she was singing to Madonna. But anyway, I love her so much. Kisses, Deb. But, okay, so, we were... I miss that so much. God, traveling with my dad and my stepmom. Suitcase just for their wine. Okay, but anyway... So my mother and I are driving to southern Indiana with my ex, and we're going to this casino, right? And he would get so tired of listening to my mom just, I mean, about people like, oh, and when this person and that person, and you didn't even know who any of these people were, right? I mean, and Judy said this, and can you believe in that? And then John said his wife didn't even go to church on Sunday, and then she said that she was a sinner. But I mean, if Judy's a sinner, then John's a sinner too, because he married her and she knew she was married, and then why do you think they're married? Then they have 15 kids and none of the kids. I mean, it was nonsense, you guys, and I didn't know any of these people, and it would drive me nuts, right? So anyway, she said something about her middle name being Joanne, and I go, Mom, your middle name is Joan, okay? Her middle name was spelled Joan. I go, your middle name is Joan. She goes, no, I'm pretty sure that my middle name was Joanne. I know my middle name, Peter, okay? And so I go, so my ex, he would like put his head back like this in the passenger seat and act like he was asleep, so he didn't have to be part of any of this. And so, we get in this fight. I'm like, Mother, you know your middle name is Joan. And she goes, no, my middle name is Joanne. I think I would know my middle name, right? Silence. Put on the music. Turn off the music. 5 minutes later, this is what I hear in the back seat. Joan? Joanne. Joan? Joanne. I don't know. And I look over, and my ex is losing his shit laughing, right? He's She's like, how do you forget what your middle name is? She's like, am I so old I forget what my middle name is? I mean, she didn't have Alzheimer's or anything like that, but she truly did forget her middle name. And I swore it was Joan till the day she died, okay? Birth certificate and everything says her middle name is Joan. Let me just tell you a funny story. I went out to dinner with my aunt about a year ago. This is a true story, okay? Hey, Aunt Kathy. My cousin Caroline, she watches these videos too. I love her so much. But anyway, so we're sitting there at dinner and I was telling her the story. I go, isn't that funny? She goes, your mother's middle name was Joanne. I go, excuse me? She goes, Grandma didn't know how to spell it. She spelled it Joan, but it was Joanne. I go, excuse, what? How do you misspell Joanne? She goes, I'm just telling you, Grandma didn't know how to spell Joanne. How can you not know your middle name? Like, seriously, that is so crazy. Do you guys want to know what my middle name is? Well, I'm not telling you. Anyway. All right, you guys, so that's my story time for the day. I'm sure you're like, why would we even care about your mother? Do you want to see her again? She was so cute. Hi, Mother. She was so petite. My mother was like, okay, she wore heels always, and my mother was like 5 foot flat and size 6 shoe. Fabulous. Loved her. Awesome dresser. Can you even see? Hi, Mom. Let's get right up on that. Hi, Mom. Do you think we look alike? People think we look alike, but we didn't. But anyway, I missed her so much. Anyway, y'all have some stories? I bet you don't, because you're boring. Anyway, I will be back tomorrow with more videos. Spirit fingers. I love you guys so much. And hey, Shane Dawson, this one goes out for you. Cement floors. Bye.